phones, Babylons can't crack the code.
A couple weeks ago, I made a video about big transfer portal commitments. A couple weeks have passed, and obviously more players have entered the portal, and even more players have committed to their new schools. So today's video is going to be a part 2 of the video I released a couple weeks ago. If you want to watch part 1, I'll have a link in the description below. Before I move on, remember to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Now let's get into it. The first transfer that I'm going to be talking about is quarterback transfer from Clemson to Oregon State, DJ Uiagalelei. The former 5-star recruit from the 2020 recruiting class now ranks as the number 33 player according to the 24/7 Sports Transfer Portal rankings. DJ spent a total of 3 seasons at Clemson, where in 2 of them he was a starting quarterback and 1 he was a backup quarterback to Trevor Lawrence. As a true freshman, in the time that he did play, he showed a lot of flashes as he threw for 914 yards, 5 touchdowns compared to 0 interceptions, while completing 67% of his passes, as well as having 4 total rushing touchdowns. He was expected to take off in 2021 as a first-year starting quarterback, but ultimately had a lot of struggles, completing 56% of his passes, thrown for 2,246 yards, 9 touchdowns compared to 10 interceptions, and 4 touchdowns on the ground. He ultimately did improve his game in 2022 and did look like a better quarterback, but it seems like Clemson was going to take the direction of the Cade Klubnik route in the future, so DJ's time as the quarterback at Clemson was coming to an end. 2022 was a much better year, completing 62% of his passes, throwing for 2,521 yards, 22 touchdowns through the air compared to 7 interceptions, while accounting for 545 rushing yards and 7 total rushing touchdowns. I really like this move to Oregon State. Oregon State's coming off an underrated 10-3 season in 2022, and in my opinion, they really lacked a consistent quarterback play and a quarterback that can push their team over the edge to be one of the best Pac-12 teams. And with DJ now going to Oregon State, I feel like there's a higher potential for them to have a better season in the Pac-12 compared to previous seasons. On to the next player. It is running back transfer from Texas A&M to SMU, LJ Johnson. As a recruit in the 2021 recruiting class, LJ Johnson was a higher-end 4-star, ranked as a top 5 running back. Right now in the current transfer portal rankings, he's ranked as the number 50 player in the current transfer portal. I really like this move to SMU, as it really could just be a bigger opportunity than it was at Texas A&M. As the past couple seasons, LJ Johnson has been a backup running back for the Aggies, where he's had 31 career rushing attempts for 115 yards, averaging 3.7 yards a carry and 2 total rushing touchdowns. It really just seems like LJ just needs a bigger opportunity and one where he's going to be guaranteed to get the ball. And if you're an SMU fan, you have to be happy with your current running back room. You look back at the 2021 recruiting class, 2 of the top 5 running backs right now are at SMU, and you just have to be ecstatic that you have Kamar Wheaton and LJ Johnson as a potential duo. Next up, it is Oklahoma State to Tulsa transfer Braylon Presley. Presley was a 4-star prospect in the 22 class, a 2-time Gatorade Oklahoma High School Player of the Year, and is currently rated as the number 60 player in the transfer portal rankings for 24/7 Sports. As a true freshman for the Oklahoma State Cowboys in 2022, he appeared in 7 games as a backup where he recorded 5 receptions for 26 yards and had 2 rushing attempts for 3 yards. I really like this move for Braylon Presley to Tulsa, as he's going to have a role that it seems like he wanted at Oklahoma State in the first place. He thought he was going to be a day 1 guy at Oklahoma State as a Cowboy, in a role where he was going to get the ball a lot, especially on the ground compared to the air, but it seemed like he was more of a receiver for Oklahoma State and a backup for that as a true freshman. And now at Tulsa, under this new coaching staff that they're bringing in, it seems like Braylon Presley is going to be a big priority, especially on the ground game and in the air. And if you saw this guy's high school tape, I mean, this guy was a 2-time Gatorade Player of the Year in Oklahoma. You guys need to go see his high school tape, as he was one of the more electrifying players, in my opinion, for the 22 class. And I even made a whole video about him a couple years ago, talking about how underrated he was. On to the next transfer. It is Jackson State to Colorado transfer Travis Hunter. As a recruit in the 22 class, Hunter was the #1 player and a 5-star recruit, as well as Deion Sanders' biggest recruiting win at Jackson State. In the transfer portal rankings, Travis Hunter is also, yet again, the #1 player and the lone 5-star of the transfer portal class as of right now. As a true freshman in the 22 college football season at Jackson State, Travis Hunter was utilized on both sides of the ball, showing potential and versatility at the cornerback and wide receiver positions. At the cornerback position, he had 19 total tackles, 15 of them being solo, and 2 interceptions, including 1 pick-6 and 8 pass deflections. On the offensive side of the ball, he had 18 receptions for 190 receiving yards, averaging 10.6 yards a reception, and 4 total receiving touchdowns through the air. Overall, it was a very good season for Travis Hunter, one in which he showed a lot of versatility and potential on both sides of the ball. And of course, this move to Colorado is going to be big as he's following Coach Prime and is starting up the new era in Colorado where he is presumably going to be a starter day one and be a very key part of that team. Next up, it is Western Michigan to Florida State defensive line transfer Braden Fisk. In the current transfer portal rankings, Fisk is rated as the number 15 player in the class and the #1 defensive lineman. He stands in at 6'5", 300 pounds, and showed a lot of elite productivity at Western Michigan these past few seasons. In his career, he has 148 total tackles, 27 tackles for loss, 13.5 sacks, 2 fumble recoveries, and 3 forced fumbles. In 2022, he had his biggest season yet, where in 12 games played, he had 32 solo tackles, 59 total, 12 tackles for loss, 6 sacks, 3 pass deflections, 1 fumble recovery, and 3 forced fumbles. I really like this move to Florida State. Braden Fisk is one of the best defensive linemen in the nation, and Florida State is having a year where they just had a 10-win season in 2022 and showed a lot of productivity on that D-line, and Fisk is going to fit in and be a dog on that defensive line and try to help Florida State with their ACC title hopes in 2023, a squad that has a lot of potential on both sides of the ball to make a lot of noise if they really put it all together for the entire season. For the final player in today's video, it is Texas Tech quarterback transfer to Houston, Donovan Smith. Donovan Smith, in his career at Texas Tech as a quarterback, has completed 64% of his passes, 19 touchdowns to the air compared to 10 interceptions, with 271 rushing yards and 10 total rushing touchdowns. Over the past few years for Texas Tech, Donovan Smith has never been the starting quarterback going into a regular season. He's primarily been what you would call a backup quarterback, but he has a lot of starting experience at his time at Texas Tech for someone that was never really supposed to be the full-time regular season starting quarterback, and in that short time, he has shown quite a bit of improvements and potential as a starting quarterback. As I just said all of his stats, he's transferring to Houston, and I really do like this move, not only for Donovan Smith, but also for Houston. Houston's about to go in their first year into the Big 12 for 2023, and they're losing their starting quarterback, their star, in Clayton Tune. And they need someone who can come in, has some experience, and that guy is going to be Donovan Smith, in my opinion. They're going to have a quarterback battle more than likely in the spring, and maybe even during fall camp, and I do expect Donovan Smith to come out on top and to win that quarterback battle and to be the starting quarterback for Houston in 2023. He's someone that has the Big 12 experience. He's shown potential and his experience as a starting quarterback compared to other Houston quarterbacks in the same QB room. Well, guys, if you made it this far into the video, drop something down in the comment section below if you want to see a part 3 of this series where I talk about some more big-time transfer portal commitments. And before you head out, remember to smash that like button, turn on those post notifications, and subscribe if you haven't already. B. Kelly out.